What is good? What is good? This is Mikey T, the movie star. Excuse me right there. Let me get everything situated. Excuse me for coming on so late tonight. Let's see. Plug this out. Yo, AC Suspense. What up, man? I saw that you had followed me on Clubhouse. Believe I followed you back. Still trying to figure out a couple things about Clubhouse, man. To be completely honest with you guys, but we're gonna be going heavy on there in the near future. SV Twiz is schooling me to the game of Clubhouse, to be honest with you. So I'm looking forward to see what takes off on Clubhouse in the near future. You know what I mean? I know a lot of guys that I mess with are actually on there doing their thing. You know what I mean? Running the numbers up, having a lot of great conversation with different people. There's a couple of noticeable guys on there. Death of the Clout Chaser, the homie Big Chuck. I see Doggy Diamonds is on there doing his thing. So it's about time that I jumped on Clubhouse. But of course, the main outlet is right here on YouTube, where we come here to talk about hip hop, talk about everything going on in music and entertainment. So tonight I really wanted to come on and speak on Wack 100, exposing, Treyway Shotti, you know what I'm saying? Pretty much for still contacting 6ix9ine even after he's already been sentenced. They've already tried to run down his name, or they've already pretty much successfully run down his name in the past few years. Nobody in the industry really messes with 6ix9ine at this point, aside from those who mess with Wack 100, you know what I'm saying? But that could honestly lead to some avenues for the kid. Wack 100 is going to be able to open some doors. I mean, he did have a show on Hulu. They had a whole thing going on with him on Hulu and shit like that, which I did not check out. I could not get through one of those series, and I am actually a big series guy. Royal King, what's popping, man? I appreciate you for tapping in tonight. Appreciate you for tapping in. Appreciate everybody for tapping in. Hit that like button. Share this video. About to get started. We have a couple serious topics to speak on. Like I said, that first one about Treyway Shotti is a major topic, but we also have to speak on Suge Knight. Suge Knight saying that Snoop Dogg is ratting. Suge Knight actually trying to work with Snoop as he's saying he's ratting. It really doesn't make all that much sense. Everybody share this video, hit that like button. What's going on? Hillary was popping with you. T2 says, pop that blue Bel Air, Mikey. Snoop been funny. Snoop is you know what I mean? We're gonna talk about it tonight. We're gonna get it all in detail tonight. What you smoking on tonight? What do I have? I think I have some Gary Payton on deck tonight. We doing the Gary tonight. Salute my guy Apex in the building. Yeah, we got some shit to talk about, man. We got some shit to talk about. Wack 100 pretty much putting Treyway Shotti in his place. I think this is just another part of what Wack has to do in stabilizing, his situation with 6ix9ine. Wack said this is what dudes do. They meet someone that they got a little bit of money. He's got the whole weed sack, and they got the money to buy the bottles in the club. And that's pretty much how you initiate conversation with the celebrity. You kind of make the celebrity feel like you're necessary, you're needed for their way of life. And I've seen this happen with many artists. Like, I mean, even guys like Chief Keef, you know what I mean? Guys like, I've seen Chief Keef get caught up hanging around the wrong people. So you got to imagine it happens to just about everybody. So Wack continued on, man, and he said, like, this shit is real. If I would have brought 6ix9ine to my neighborhood and I got a team over there, and we started this clique in 1991, and it's known, one thing is known, and the one thing, it would have been a DP off the rip. That's why I told them one of y'all gonna hold. But Wack 100 keeps going on about 6ix9ine did what he was supposed to do in this situation. So he's really just trying to, help 6ix9ine save face. But we all pretty much know that. We all know he's trying to help 6ix9ine save face in this situation. But this is another key, way that he's actually trying to do it, of exposing Treyway Shotti, exposing a guy who at first was attempting to expose him, but now he's still in his inbox. He's still sending him messages on the internet, like, yo, listen, I need help. Even going as far to have his son reach out. So it's a pretty weird situation to me, but now Wack 100 is putting it all out there, and he's even going as far to say that he might even have some of the messages to post on the internet. Who knows? This could be a big thing for the 100 podcast. Wack said, I know, but dudes act like I've been waiting for Shotti to get out of line because they be sending him DMs and messages. Like, why you effing with the dude from the West Coast? We can make it right. We can start off with a clean slate. So apparently, I don't think it has so much to do with the fact that it's Wack 100. He's from the West Coast. I think these guys from the East Coast, who were at first in control of his career, they pretty much just want it all. They don't care who it is. They wouldn't give a damn if it was somebody from Miami, Florida, or Chicago, or any of these different places. They don't want to split the pie anymore. And there was nobody else that was stepping up really. But now you got Wack 100, and he doesn't want to split the pie either. Why should he have to? As he said, 6ix9ine did what he was supposed to do. My guy 1017 TV is in the building. He says Wack 100 is only supporting 6ix9ine. He has a better investment in 6ix9ine. That's accurate, man. That's accurate. There's deals on the table for Wack 100 when it comes to that situation. So he wants to keep the business open for whatever it might become in the future. It might hurt him in the future, or it might just help him make a bunch of money. You got to take the gamble. And that's what he's doing, probably because there's some initial money as well. I don't know if that's coming in the form of paying somebody to be your manager or actually having gone out there and made different business moves. Because we really haven't seen anything popping off with 6ix9ine in the last 9-10 months, ever since his last album came out, and they shut it down and they said, listen, man, this album, we're not basing the sales based on your merch sales. So his album sales went down from about 150,000 to 50,000. He lost over 100,000 in record sales. Royal King says 6ix9ine gave him a blue jacket. Hey man, that was the best blue jacket that he ever got. He remembers that blue jacket to this day, and he wants more blue jackets. That's why they're still reaching out. It's really absurd to think that the guys who this dude snitched on would then continuously reach out to him as if he was going to send them a care package. Let me see. So Wack had said, this shit is crazy. It ain't because he's a rat. It's because Wack is from Cali, which I do not really agree with. I don't think it has anything to do with the fact that he's from Cali. I think anybody who was stepping up in his position was going to get called out. I think anybody stepping up in this position to represent and try to continue making money would have actually faced the repercussions that Wack is facing. What are the repercussions? Being called out and criticized all over the internet and people saying, listen, you deal with this guy, man, you must not be solid yourself. So Wack continued. He said, hey, bro, while I was sitting there doing the interview, no lie, I swear to God. So this is when he's doing the interview back then, when they had actually all sat. I believe this was before Off the Record, unless it was the very first episode of Off the Record with DJ Academics. So they all sat, and he actually got a lot of questions answered. And so Wack said, during that interview, Shotti's son hit his DM saying, yo, we ain't got no money over here. We effed up. His son, Wack is saying this, his son didn't do it on his own. He's saying that must have came from instructions. He could be a little off base saying that. You know what I mean? He could be a little bit off base saying that because, Shotti's son could just be messed up right now, not living the elaborate lifestyle that he was living at one point, hopping in and out of dope cars, not worrying about Uber or Uber Eats, not, worrying about anything like that, not worrying about when he's going to get his next, bunch of clothes. He's kind of messed up right now. So I wouldn't put it past these guys to actually reach out. You know what I mean? I wouldn't put it past them to actually reach out and try to get some consideration from somebody and for him to be like, yo, man, I'm feeling a little bit of sympathy. I'm gonna send him $3,000 or $4,000. Why? So they can get it and blow it, appreciate you, man. Shawnee, appreciate you for saying that. He said, support Report Card Radio. Appreciate yo. Love back from Boston. Major respect to Boston on the tap in tonight. Hit that like button. Share this video. 1017 TV says, I totally lost all respect on Wack 100 when he disrespected Master P. A lot of people feel that same way. Once he said that shit about Master P, a lot of people were really just considering if he actually knew what he was talking about. It's like, come on, man. P makes boss moves. Exactly. Wack 100 is on his way to making some boss moves as well, though. We're going to get into it, and Wack 100 has kept quite the relationship with Snoop Dogg, you guys. I'm really interested to see what happens with Death Row and Snoop Dogg in the future with a little bit of alignment from Wack 100. Who knows? Unless Wack is a little bit too tied up with other shit. So Treyway Shotti son had allegedly texted 6ix9ine, yo, we ain't got no money over here. We effed up. His son didn't do it on his own, Wack 100 alleged. He had instructions. So 6ix9ine through his cell table, 6ix9ine actually threw his cell on the table and said, look at this shit. And Wack saw it. Wack saw that it was his son. And these guys stay asking me for shit, 6ix9ine said. Look at Suge. He's the one who told me everything about Snoop. So Wack 100 was getting showed all of this information on the phone. And basically Wack said all of these dudes he told on are trying to be cool with him. All of these dudes, all of their offspring. So you got the sons of people that he snitched on trying to be cool with them, trying to get a short or whatever it's called. And I just think this is another piece to the puzzle of Wack 100 explaining to the people why 6ix9ine was justified in doing what he was doing. He's just going to use this as another piece to that puzzle I'm explaining. And it's making him look pretty good right here. I can't lie. He's coming out. He's trying to make him look credible. He's trying to build up to that next album. It's like, wow. So snitched on these guys, but they're still hitting him up. Like how pathetic, if that's the word you want to use, how pathetic does that make them look? This guy done got his pops 30 years in jail. Maybe it wasn't 6ix9ine all the way that got Shotti 30 years in jail. I think it was, what did he cop out to? Was it 15 or 30? It was one or the other. I think he might have to, he has to serve it all in full. Portland, Jamaica in the building. Major salute. I appreciate everybody tuning in tonight. Yeah, Tito, we might be covering that tomorrow, man. I'm going to take a listen to that. I'm going to hear what Wack 100 had to say about Prodigy because, sometimes when you get on the internet and you get people listening to you, you start a podcast, you're just liable to say anything, which is a lot of people agree with what Wack is saying in certain situations. But when he came out taking aim at Master P over some of the most ignorant shit, like, taking an issue with Master P over his relationship with Nick Cannon, it just doesn't really make sense. You kind of run yourself into the ground doing stuff like that. And when you continuously do it, I mean, it's just kind of crazy. But Wack is getting into his own bag here. You know what I mean? Wack is getting into his own bag here. Speaking on Suge Knight, speaking on Snoop Dogg and Tupac. You know what I'm saying? Speaking on 6ix9ine. He's getting in his own bag right now. He's not going too far. But I got to check out what he said about Prodigy because that might be something that he's gone too far with. What's going on, Craze 718? Appreciate you for tapping in. Krieger Bailey, the Pod God, Mikey T. Thank you for tapping in. Everybody share this video. Hit that like button. Steven Rivera, I am good, man. I just wanted to come online and do this stream with this news breaking about, Suge Knight. Some crazy news about Suge Knight actually getting brought Tupac by Snoop Dogg is what Wack 100 is saying. We're going to dig into all that tonight. But right now, we're talking about this situation with Treyway Shotti apparently having his son text 6ix9ine for money. It's like, come on, do you not have any self-respect? Do you? Wack says it was more than likely Shotti, but I'm going to tell you, speaking for these young kids out here, you know what I mean? Having been one a few years ago myself, you cannot put it past the son of a rapper or the son of somebody famous whose pops gets locked up to hit up one of his successful friends and actually ask them for money. Ask them for an opportunity. Ask them for a position. You cannot put it past one of these dudes. So I don't honestly think Treyway Shotti would hit up the 6ix9ine. You know what I mean? I don't think he would. You know what I mean? But shit, we've seen other things happen like Shine, incarcerated for 10 years, comes home, makes peace with P. Diddy. You know what I'm saying? We've seen situations like that. Before you get let out, they usually make you recognize all of your mistakes. Once you get released from incarceration, you pretty much got to turn your life around. So a lot of the times they forgive the people who they have harmed, or maybe that's just in AA. You know what I mean? Maybe that's just a part of the 12-step program, forgiving everybody that you have done wrong or something like that. But I got a feeling in prison that they do the same shit because we see it a lot of the time. What up, Finch Bar? Appreciate that, man. Toronto is in the building tonight. Alan, much love from Pittsburgh, PA. Major salute to Pittsburgh, PA in the building. 876 Wagwan. It's a Finch thing. Okay, I see you. Sean Brady. Sean Brady says, Wack is Wack. He came at 10 toes and 10 will crack his whole frame in real life. Wack is a buster. I hate Wack off 100. Jeez, man. You're going to have to send a super chat in the next time you want me to read that one off, man, to be honest with you. God damn. You went in on that one. Appreciate you, Finch. M Rock says Wack is in everybody's business. Yeah, that's pretty evident right here. You know what I mean? But you guys got to be realistic. Wack 100 is becoming a podcaster. Wack 100 is changing his lifestyle as we know it. Wack 100 is becoming more than just a manager at this point. He's becoming a public figure that people are fascinated with. People are absolutely fascinated with Wack 100 to hear his perception on things because he has a long-standing, history in this game, going all the way back to the death row days or past a little bit past the death row days to then even having artists that have been successful in the last few years like Blueface. You know what I'm saying? Pretty much bringing Ray J back from obscurity. You got to give him his props where it's due. So let me see. So Wack was keep on going on saying, I'm going to try to get him to send me a screenshot. This is what I learned from dudes over there. You can show them. They don't believe. So I'm going to get it. And someone's going to have to say, so then Wack is saying once he gets the photo or the screenshots, people are going to then say it's photoshopped. Like Wack is pretty much saying you can't win, you can't lose in this situation because you say it happened, people don't believe you. You show them, they don't believe you still. Then you put it on the internet, they say it's photoshopped. We see it happen every day on the internet. So what will it really prove Wack 100 actually going out there and getting the screenshots and exposing it? Well, it'll probably make him do 1, 2, 3, 400,000 views on his podcast. And that's what I think he's looking at right now. And while you're at it, take that screenshot of those texts, make them an NFT, and sell it on the internet and let somebody own that. You know what I'm saying? The texts, if anybody's really interested in buying that. Finch Bar says Wack has been clout chasing for the last 5 years. Podcast is the right move for him, though. Exactly. Especially now that he's reached a level of fame where people are actually tuning in and listening. You know what I mean? And more than just the people. Wack 100 is actually getting the industry to tune in and listen. He's dealing with movie companies, as we've heard him talk about, bringing the Suge Knight movie. But then they're like, yo, dude, this guy has so many freaking movies. We cannot do this movie. American Links, appreciate you for tapping in tonight. Everybody hit that like button, share this video. Appreciate y'all for supporting. I just wanted to come on tonight and do a quick news piece on Wack 100, basically putting Treyway Shotti on blast for still reaching out to the man who they so vehemently call a snitch. I know right there that is some fraud shit. That is some fraud shit to actually do that. You're going to make a whole campaign about the dude. That's like somebody making a whole campaign about me. Like Mikey T is the wackest interviewer out there. He's so whack. But then they're in my inbox like, yo, Mikey T, we could get an interview, right? You're going to come shoot an interview on my podcast, right? But then they're talking shit on me. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I can really read between the lines, or I could really walk in those shoes, so to speak. Let me see. Dini Campos, appreciate you for tuning in. He said he recognized only because drama sells. He knows that. That's why he is beefing on Clubhouse every day. And, he's trying to mix it in with some other stuff. You know what I mean? He's trying to mix it in with some other stuff to really show that he's breaking some news, like doing interviews with certain people. Like, look what he did. Crip Mac, look what happened with Crip Mac. He jumped right on that shit. You know what I'm saying? Crip Mac logged into a clubhouse that Wack was on. Wack was like, yo, I'm about to log off this clubhouse because honestly, I'm going to have Crip Mac on my channel. I'm going to have him on my live podcast. So I don't want to waste any of that. I don't want to blow any of that opportunity. But because you know how it is, man. A lot of people just screen capture all that shit and put it on the internet rather than just coming on here and giving their perception of it, giving their opinion of it. They literally just take the whole thing and play it. And it's whatever you want to do. It's your, do what you want to do. I'd rather just come on here and review it. You know what I'm saying? 49 Lakers in the building. What's popping with you, brother? Glurko, what's popping, man? Appreciate you guys for tapping in. Everybody in here, hit that like button for me. Share this video. We're about to move on to the Snoop Dogg ratting allegations, which is it's a little weird to me because I've been a fan of Snoop Dogg practically my whole life. And none of this shit has ever really popped up aside from the whole thing when Snoop Dogg went through a trial. but anybody who's anybody should know that the security is supposed to handle that for you in the situation. There's going to be a whole show apparently about that coming out probably, hopefully this year, maybe 2023. We'll have to see. But that show is supposed to be about when Snoop Dogg actually got involved in the whole thing that, started the story of Murder Was the Case that they gave me. It was basically the whole scenario that gave birth to that album. So that's what Snoop Dogg is going to be doing a show on. And that's probably more than likely the prelude to his biography, his solo biography movie. They did a bunch of shots of him in the Straight Outta Compton movie. They did some shit with him in the All Eyes on Me. So Snoop Dogg will probably be next up for a biography. And he owns Death Row now. So I hope he does the Death Row movie too. Please do 2 separate ones. Make the Death Row make Straight Outta Compton, or make Death Row kind of like the Avengers, and then do branch offs. Just my suggestion. Appreciate you, Danny. He said, I look for your live chats, bro. Salute. Keep pushing the real talk. Hell yeah, man. I appreciate you tapping in. Yo, Danny, major salute, bro. Appreciate you for tapping in tonight. Hillary Williams said, Clout is the top level entertainment podcast. Clout is the top level entertainment podcast. Perfect podcast, right name right there, man. So let's get into it, man. Wack 100 was quick to say, very quick to say, and I appreciate this too because I'm a big time Snoop Dogg fan. Wack 100 was quick to say Snoop ain't never did nothing. If Snoop is a rat, Suge, why are you on the phone with him trying to make it right? Talking about let's do business. Yeah, guys. That's a big point that Wack is bringing up there. If Suge Knight wants to call out or try to expose that Snoop is a rat to other celebrities, share this video, y'all. Hit the like button. Then why is he even talking to Snoop in the first place? Talking about let's get into some business, do right by me, help me out. That's just some fugazi ass shit right there. Wack continued on. He said, let me tell y'all something, bro. This is something for y'all from another city and state. So everybody outside of Cali, I assume, like me from Connecticut. He's from Long Beach. He's from Long Beach Crip. That is a all Crip city. Never been a blood set allowed in that city. It's really all gangster from that city. There's real gangsters, been around him, still around him. Nobody was walking up on Snoop. One of the people in the live, or the clubhouse, excuse me, were like, I'm not talking about now. I'm talking about back then. Sort of like elaborating to the fact that like Snoop Dogg obviously has all of this security around him now, to the point where he even still has some real dudes around him. You guys remember the what was it called? The Snoop Dogg song called Vato, one of my favorite older Snoop Dogg songs. I believe it was from the Rhythm and Gangsta album that Snoop Dogg put out. But yeah, Wack 100 shut that down right away. He was like, no, this is forever, man. Snoop has been around the real forever. Whether it was real security guards or real OGs that were backing Snoop Dogg up. You know what I'm saying? Because that's how it works. A lot of people knew Snoop Dogg was the way out of the industry, so they held him down. They made sure he was good. And Suge Knight, obviously, Dr. Dre, knew he was the future of the industry as well. That's why they put him with security guards. That's why he was, he was thought to, he was something that they didn't want to lose. So he had an insurance policy on his ass. You know what I'm saying? We cannot lose Snoop Dogg. Even when he had to go to trial, they fought it all the way. No type of plea situation. They fought it all the way through the trial and came out with Snoop Dogg on top. So Wack went in about this whole situation. It is what it is. He's from an all Crip city. We've never been allowed to infiltrate and set up shop. Do you really think he'd been a multimillionaire for 30 years and still walking around wide open? all of his security is from Insane. So I'm like, what is he talking about? All of his security is from Insane. He's like, Insane is his neighborhood's enemies. That means he's got neighbors, he's got the neighborhood and his enemies with him. So it ain't happening, bro. So more so than just the security, Wack explained that Snoop Dogg has the allegiance or the alliance of his own neighborhood, but also the people beefing with his neighborhood. So in all, that's a pretty good thing because Snoop Dogg has brought together two warring agencies, two groups that didn't get together, and he brought them together. So I got to say I respect that from Snoop Dogg. Um, Wack said one very interesting thing here about 6ix9ine as well, and I believe this was brought up in relation to Suge Knight still trying to do business with Snoop Dogg after the fact that he snitched on him, or not on him, but after the fact that he was a snitch. Wack said, if 6ix9ine told on me, there would never be no business. So that's where you really gotta, because people say all the time you can do business with anybody, but you're definitely not going to have any sort of business dealings, or you're never even going to likely want to see somebody in life who has snitched on you. I know, man. I would never want to see somebody in life who snitched on me. There's no telling what you're going to do. You know what I mean? But like I said a little bit earlier in this stream, a lot of the times those guys walk up and shake the person's hand, take a picture, ask them if they can get a new record deal, maybe ask them for a bit of an endorsement. It depends. It depends on how the dice roll. But Wack went in. Wack said Snoop never told on a dude. Suge, you went to jail for Tupac doing that, and you violated your probation. You got a 9-year joint suspension. Wack continued on. A joint suspension says if you jaywalk, if you do anything wrong, we don't care what the crime carries, you're going down for the 9. A 9-year joint suspension apparently is what Suge Knight was being held up in that night in Vegas when they all ran down on somebody. When they all ran down on the one dude who had run, dude ran over to Tupac like, yo, I see the dude who tried to steal my death row chain. And Pac was just already wound up. I guess just having witnessed a fight, he was wound up and just really and he went off. And Suge Knight, being such a boss, should have known not to follow along, but he was staying with his what do you call it? I guess you call it a prized fighter. You know what I mean? That was like what Pac was to Suge. He was like his prize fighter. So that's why he rode with him that night. That's why he ran with him alongside him that night, even though he knew Pac was running into a controversial thing. He was running into a melee. Suge Knight followed him into fire. And it cost him 9 years. I don't know the ultimate amount of time he had to serve in jail, but yeah, it's the 9-year joint suspension. A joint suspension says if you jaywalk, if you do anything wrong, we don't care what the crime carries, you going down for the 9 years. When he stomped the dude out in the casino, it violated his probation and it sent him to jail for 9 years. Yeah, and we saw what happened when Suge went to jail for 9 years. Death Row crumbled. They lost their deal at Interscope. They actually went over to Priority, where things really got rough. They really didn't even have their roster anymore. They were left with Daz. They had Michelet. You know what I'm saying? They had a couple more movie soundtracks, but nothing was really adding up anymore for Death Row. Danny Gray says Snoop Dogg is the best thing to ever happen for Death Row besides Dre in the beginning for Pac. Finch says, Mikey, maybe me and you think alike, but a lot of these dudes want fame instead of honor. But yeah, like I was saying, man, once Suge went to jail, Death Row pretty much went down the drain. Really unfortunate. Interscope kept a connection to Death Row, though. The only connection that Interscope, I should say, that Interscope would let Death Row keep with them was through Tupac, was through the albums that were releasing after Tupac's passing. Other than that, they made Death Row ship over to Priority Records, and we've gone over that before on the channel. Drop a super chat though if you want us to, make a video about, that and go more in depth about it in the future. And leave a comment, and I'll let you know if we'll do it. Probably do it if you drop a super chat though. Pretty much anything if you guys want any topics, you can just do that, man. But let's get back into it here. So this is what Wack said. Wack said Snoop never told on a dude. Suge went to jail for Tupac doing that and violated your probation. You got a 9-year joint suspension when Tupac had the fight in Vegas and Suge ran with him. So a 9-year joint suspension. A joint suspension says if you jaywalk, if you do anything wrong, we don't care what the crime carry, you going down for the 9. When he stomped the dude out in the casino, it violated his probation and sent him to jail for the 9. So Wack said he never went to jail for anything more than that violation, and a violation that came from he never went to jail for anything more for that violation for the 9 years. But then he also went to jail for 9 months. He had a 9-month violation. So Wack pretty much put Suge on blast for not having any other jail time. He said when he started Death Row, he had never seen the inside of a holding tank. So Wack 100 just going in to the excess on Suge Knight in this, man, because some of these things you wouldn't have really known. I mean, I know that Suge Knight was actually in college. He was actually playing some ball. You know what I'm saying? But I would have never thought, oh, old Suge Knight, Big Suge, had never even got put in a holding cell. Like, come on, man. Why didn't you just go with Def Sound? You know what I mean? Why didn't you just go with Death Row or whatever? Why did it have to be Death Row with all the shackles if you ain't really even been in jail, the holding tank, never mind Death Row? You know what I'm saying? And that's not to take anything away from anybody out there who, followed the right path in life. You know what I mean? But I don't think the majority of you following the right path are going to create a record label or an imprint or a movie company called Death Row Productions. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on now. Come on now, man. Even what we saw Dr. Dre go through in the Straight Outta Compton movie, getting pressed by the police, slammed on the ground, getting arrested just for performing a song. Yeah, it's believable that Dr. Dre would form a Death Row. You know what I'm saying? But Suge, football player, I mean, why didn't you just call it Def Sound or Death Row with the F? You know what I'm saying? I'm just keeping it real here. Will says some comments about Snoop having ops in his thing. But the thing is, bro, I don't think they're ops anymore. I think Snoop Dogg really ended all of that by bringing them together. But Wack 100 said when Suge started Death Row, he had never seen the inside of a holding tank. He was infatuated by the stories. So what did Snoop tell on him for? Do the math. Wack 100 is telling you guys to do the math. And I'm not talking about Scott Steiner math, you guys. Wack 100 is telling y'all to do the math. Listen, Wack is saying Suge Knight, the guy who'd never been in a holding tank, he was infatuated by the stories. So what did Snoop Dogg tell on him for? See, that's what I'm not understanding here either. What did Snoop Dogg ever tell on Suge Knight for? He sure as hell, I mean, the 9 years that you served, had nothing to do with Snoop, excuse me. You was running around with Pac, trying to act like you was in your mid-20s. You know what I mean? Trying to jump somebody, trying to act like you was still in the, you know what I'm saying? Act like you was Tyson or something. So Wack explains here that Suge was infatuated by the stories. So what did Suge Knight tell on him for? Listen, do the math. Sometimes you got to break the fact down and do the math. What he told on you on. You came home. You did your time from 96, 97 to 0102. When did he tell on you? Everybody's missing out on that. When did Snoop Dogg tell on Suge Knight? Why is Suge Knight sending messages to 6ix9ine ratting on Snoop, telling him, yo, this guy's a snitch, this guy's a rat, so it just doesn't make any sense, because in the same or in the next conversation, Suge Knight is hitting up Snoop Dogg and saying, yo, Snoop, you got death row now, baby. We got it back. Shit is the way it used to be. If he can even muster up enough to have an excitable moment like that at this point, but I hope that Snoop does not involve Suge Knight in death row at this point, you guys. I think that would be a bad move on Suge Knight's part. Share this video, everybody. Let's go. Share this video. I think that would be a bad move, because as much respect as Snoop has tried to show, Suge Knight, it's always been disrespect shown in return. A few years ago, Snoop did the West Coast connection, where everybody came together, and it was a peace treaty. And Suge Knight and all them, like, start talking behind his back again. It really just, it throws everything off course, man. Suge Knight has been doing this shit for years, and I don't think Snoop should give him another shot with it. Let me see. What's going on? Iceberg said, peace, Mikey. Did y'all know when Dre left, he tried to get the name Def Row, but couldn't because some copyright name issues with Def Jam, so he called it Aftermath. That was Dre's idea originally. Yeah, I had heard about the whole Def Row thing, spelt DEF. And I'm just sort of saying, with Suge Knight, who hadn't even been in a holding tank, he was a football player. He was even rapping a little bit of himself. Why didn't he just call it Def Row, bro? I'm just keeping it real. I'm just asking a question. Pooh Black, appreciate you for tuning in tonight, man. Shawnee says, people talk reckless but scared and have other people take yo reckless. Then they take that. I can't read the comment, man. I'm sorry, bro. Jack Rab says, Suge is trying to find a money pocket. Yeah, he's trying to find somebody that'll help him. There were rumors years ago that Floyd Mayweather was going to help him, after that Pacquiao fight. Now he's obviously used the connection through Wack 100 to speak with 6ix9ine, unless it was somebody else who connected them. You know what I mean? Unless it was somebody else that connected him. But he's obviously trying to use that as another alternative. But honestly, man, the kid, 6ix9ine's music career is all but over. His last album came out and he had all that promotion, 2 million people watching. 6ix9ine's career is like the equivalent of TNA wrestling at this point. It's like they would get 1.6 million people watching on Spike TV, but then 8,000 people ordered the pay-per-view. So you got 2 million people watching 6ix9ine on live, and then 40,000 people bought the album. It's like the numbers aren't moving as well as you would hope. It's good. It's a good thing that he got that record deal, prior to getting out of jail. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, let me see what we got here. Wack said that 6ix9ine wasn't even born. You telling me 6ix9ine knew what was going on in 92, 93? That's Suge doing what he do. He is a habitual liar, and he will tell anybody what they want to hear to get them on their team. And how does Wack 100 know that? How does Wack 100 know that Suge is a habitual liar? How does he know that Suge Knight will do anything within his ability to get you on his team? Because that happened to Wack. Wack 100 got fed story after story, I'm sure, from Suge Knight, to the point where he had to just, separate real shit from bullshit. If you're not following me on Instagram, I want you to follow me right now. That's right. If you're not following me on the gram, I want you to follow me right now, y'all. Definitely appreciate everybody for tapping in on this live video tonight. Appreciate y'all for tapping in. Major salute, everybody. I want you to follow me on Instagram. I want you to follow me on the gram. I will follow everybody back that follows me based on this video, of course. Let me see. Danny Gray has a good comment here. Let me read that out. Danny Gray says, to be honest, I think Dr. Dre got his hands in on that Death Row label with Snoop, but they don't own the catalog, only the name. But that name is worth millions. Oh, okay. So is that the thing about it, Danny? They actually only own the name and they don't actually own the catalog. I'm gonna have to take a little bit of a read into that if I even can. I'm really waiting for Snoop Dogg to actually address the whole situation of Death Row, though. I want to hear what Snoop Dogg has to say about it. We know that he's got his own new chain. You know what I mean? We know he's got his own new chain. But it's pretty cool. Oh, no worries, Shawnee. No worries, Shawnee, man. I appreciate you, man. I appreciate you. I just couldn't understand the comment, to be honest with you, man. Keep up your excellent work, soldier. I appreciate that, man. Yeah, Wale is dope. Real Live Bank said Snoop is going to sign Kendrick. Watch. Damn, that's an interesting thought. It's an interesting thought, man. So Wack had a few things to say about, you know, Snoop actually taking over Death Row. He had a few things to say about Snoop actually buying Death Row, you guys. He said it's a great move. Now he's got to break an artist. He said, I'd much rather see Snoop with it. But before we get into that, let's go into this. He got to break an artist. Red Real Live Blank says he is going to sign Kendrick. Watch. Best way to revamp the row. I think there's a couple of guys out there like The Game, Kendrick Lamar, who, have a lot of respect for that Death Row record label name, but I don't really see major, acts like that actually going over to Death Row. I just don't see it really panning out like that. I do see Snoop, however, using this Death Row Records as his own umbrella now. He never really got the record label going with Doggy Style Records. So I think this is really going to be an opportunity for him to branch off and do his own label now. Jack says The Game would be a perfect artist. He tried before. That's true. The Game actually attempted to get signed to Death Row Records at one point. The Game went to Suge Knight, I guess. Yeah, I think The Game went to Suge Knight and actually brought him his music. But The Game was going to everybody. The Game went to Diddy back then. The Game was going to everybody. I don't see why Suge didn't lock him in, but it must have been a money issue. Suge probably didn't really have the money to lock the Game in at that point. So Wack continued on. He's saying, I'd much rather see it with Snoop. He's one of the key guys outside of Dre. You can't take nothing from Dre, but Snoop is the one. Snoop is the one who told Suge to go get Tupac. What a statement from Wack 100 right there. Snoop pushed that line. Dre don't want it. He could have been had it. Daz and Corrupt don't want it. Nate Dogg is gone. Rest in peace, Nate Dogg, one of the greatest to ever do it. So it's a great move for it to go back to Snoop on some real shit, is what Wack 100 said. And I got to agree with him, man. Like I said on the previous streams, Death Row being under Snoop Dogg actually makes it more valuable than ever. Under anybody else, Death Row is not of any value. But being under one of the key members, it legitimately makes it worth 10, 15, even 20 times more amount of money. Yeah, UD says Death Row will never be the same, fam. That's 100% accurate. Death Row will not be the same. But Snoop Dogg has an opportunity to build it up, maybe to a considerable label like Yo Gotti's CMG, which a question comes in here from Dini Campos. He said, Lee, love Mozzie signing to Yo Gotti, but would you have been history if he would have been the first official signee to Snoop's Death Row? Hey, that's a good thought, being that Mozzie is a West Coast guy. You know what I'm saying? That is a great thought, being that Mozzie's a West Coast guy. But honestly, I think the association with CMG, everything that Yo Gotti has done, breaking artists like Black Youngsta, Moneybagg Yo, 42 Doug, Black Boy JB, even going back a few years before that, he had broke a few artists. You know what I'm saying? I think that's a good fit for Mozzie. Mozzie needs that industry kick in the ass right now, because he's definitely dope. I really caught wind of Mozzie from Sue Surf. I was messing with Surf heavy from the music tip to the battle rap tip. Then I noticed he had joint tape with Mozzie. What's it called? Is it called Blood Brothers? I don't really remember. But he had the tape with Mozzie that put me onto him. And ever since then, I've been on Mozzie, man. So that's a cool little statement you made, though. Mozzie on death row would have actually been awesome. But I think CMG is going to take him to the moon. Dre's, Cancer Slayer, Johnson, appreciate you for tapping in, bro. Maybe he will reach out to 40 Glock, Spider Loke, etc., along with the Dog Pound. It might be lit. Who knows? Yeah, I could see Daz. I could see Daz coming in and doing a few things. That'd be awesome because, Daz was one of the key elements to Death Row. Corrupt has to be involved in some capacity, hopefully as an A&R. You know what I mean? Corrupt as an A&R would be dope. We don't break, bend, or fold, but cry for money. How you going to be in jail crying for money after you done said the dude is a major snitch, after you done ran the man's name down? Oh, let me guess, if you weren't in jail, he wouldn't be a snitch either, right? If you were the only one, whatever. We ain't going to go into that further, man. Let me see. Jack Rab says, I couldn't see YG but Mozzie, but he signed to Yo Gotti. So who is, YG is a good thought, man. YG is a good thought. Forever Dolph. Rest in peace to the brother Dolph. Apex says, 40 Glock can't even help himself. Yeah, man. 40 Glock, I'd gone from doing views with 40 Glock. We had done like a few million views together back in the day. I did one of his dopest interviews, I'd have to say, with the joint where he was talking about Jamie Foxx, the joint where he was talking about Tyga, all them shits when he stole Tyga's chain and shit like that. I had all those interviews on World Star back in the day. But nowadays, 40 Glock isn't really up like that. Yo, XO King, I appreciate you for tapping in tonight. I appreciate everybody for tapping in, man. Y'all is the best live audience, man. I had to come in and hit everybody with some news, especially when you hear this shit about Death Row. You know what I mean? Especially when you hear this shit about Death Row and Snoop Dogg and Treyway Shotti and, basically Wack 100 is putting the pieces to the puzzle, you guys. And I expect to see him doing that all year, man. He's going to be doing that all year. He's about to catapult his career into something bigger than we ever thought it was going to be, you guys. At first, Wack 100 was looked at as a manager. Now he's one of the biggest hip-hop influencers in the game. Oh, sour blueberry on deck? Okay, that's what's up. You got the sour blueberry. I'm actually smoking on some Gary Payton. About to roll one more up, though. Definitely appreciate everybody tapping in tonight. If you have not subscribed to the channel right now, hit that notification bell so you can tap in tomorrow night when I come back on live again. I just wanted to do a short news brief. I wanted to do a short news brief tonight. Make sure everybody was tuned in. You know what I'm saying? I want everyone to go check out my new interview with Bizarre. It's out right now. It's on the channel. Everybody in here, if you go check out my interview with Bizarre, speaking on Eminem, signing with Dr. Dre, leave a comment. That'd be dope. I'll see y'all tomorrow night, though. We'll be live.